Hello everyone, this is the first lesson recording for IM1, May 11, 2021. What do you think about this Dogecoin phenomenon or insanity? Well, if you know about this, apparently this is a cryptocurrency that started as a joke, but now it has reached a new heights and it has risen more than 26,000% in the last 6 months. Crazy, huh? Well, you can share your opinion in the private chat if you have one. Alright, what are we doing today? We're going to break up into two groups. The Zoomers, the people who are online through the Zoom. You're going to be working on Pair Deck link in chat. Roomers, you're going to find physical whiteboard space and you're going to be showing me your work from on the whiteboard. Okay? Let's see how it goes. So this is the first Pair Deck. While we are waiting for everybody, while we're waiting, you can draw whatever you like. You can just get used to the pens. You can draw something that you want to share with the class or anything like that. Okay, so then the first Pair Deck activity is I am going to ask you to sketch an obtuse angle right underneath. Keep it to the left half of the screen. Okay, can you sketch an obtuse angle and name it angle MOP? And for that, I'm going to move over to Pair Deck. So here we go. That was the first free draw. Next, I'm going to ask you to sketch an obtuse angle, name it angle MOP. Okay, so it's easiest if you call this line tool and you can adjust the thickness of the pen to be, I don't know, somewhat thin. And how do I draw an obtuse angle? What's an obtuse angle? Obtuse means it's bigger than 90 degrees. So I need an angle that is bigger than 90 degrees. So maybe that looks like this. Okay. And the angle I am talking about is this. Okay, so that's the angle I'm talking about. And I need to name it angle MOP. Okay, so name MOP. M is a point on the line. O, it must be the vertex. Remember, the vertex is the middle letter. So that means O, letter O represents a point on the line. And then P is going to be another point on the line. So this is going to be P. And another point on that line is going to be M. So MOP is angle MOP. We would write this as angle MOP will be this angle here, represented with this MOP. They're all points on the line. Okay, now it's asking me to name the angle MOP, and then here it says write two other ways to name this angle. So this angle is MOP here. Okay, this is MOP, angle MOP. Is there another way to write this? Well, you could have also said it was angle POM. You can go the other direction as long as the middle letter is the O. O has to be at the vertex, just the same as here. Okay. Another way to call this angle is angle O, just using one letter because there are no other letters. So this is, we can certainly call this angle by just one letter, which is called angle O. Okay. Now we are then asked to sketch two intersecting lines that's not perpendicular. Perpendicular means 90 degrees. Okay, so we don't want 90 degrees. We don't want it intersecting at 90 degrees. It says not. Okay, so we want two lines. So I am going to draw one line here, like so. And I want it to be fairly vertical so that it is not going to be meeting at 90 degrees. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay, so these are my two lines that are intersecting. Intersecting means they're just crossing. that are not perpendicular. So the angle they're meeting is not 90 degrees. Now label an acute angle as angle ABC. Okay, so that means what is the middle letter? It's B. Okay, so that should be a clue to you for us. Okay, that the vertex has to be B. Okay, so now can you tell which is the acute angle? Well, here is an acute angle and here is another acute angle. They're both acute angle. The other angles are obtuse because they are greater than 90 degrees. Okay, so we're going to call it angle ABC. If I want to call this angle ABC, then the middle letter is B. That means I need the vertex of this angle. So I want this angle to be called ABC. That means I need to have a point called A, another A, B, and another point on the line that is called C. So ABC is called that. Okay, now it's asking us to label the adjacent obtuse angle as the angle CBD. Okay, so this is my acute angle that is called angle ABC. Where is an obtuse angle? Obtuse angle will be this one here, right? Obtuse meaning it's greater than 90 degrees. And I need it to be called CBD. Okay, if I was to call this angle, it will be C, B, another point has to be on here called maybe D. Okay, so that when we say angle CBD, it's the angle that is formed between line CB and DB. So this is the angle. Now next up, I would like you to mark to show that angle MOP. Angle MOP is the first angle that we created. Angle MOP is congruent to angle CBD. CBD is my blue angle. MOP is my red angle here. Okay, if I was to say that they are congruent, do you remember how we mark two angles that are congruent? We use the arc number to indicate that they are congruent. Okay, so here I have one arc, meaning, and one arc here, that they're supposed to be the same number. We don't want that. We want it to be matching to that. So I want to change this to 2 arc notation right there. So by putting the same number of arc, then I am saying that this angle MOP is same measure as angle CBD, and they're both obtuse angle. Okay, now how do I, this time I want you to write a statement saying that angle MOP is congruent to angle CBD. How do I do that? What is the statement going to be? It is going to be that angle, okay, let me do it in, say, purple. Oh, let's do it in green. Okay, so angle MOP, that's that, this angle here, is congruent to angle CDB. Congruent to angle CBD. Okay, and that's how you would write it. And I am going to put a circle on it. Okay. Okay, next card. We're asked to sketch a scalene triangle. Scalene triangle means all sides, all 3 sides are different length. Triangle has 3 sides, but each of the side length are different. So I'm going to bring my line tool, and let's start by drawing a line here. And I want that the other side to be significantly different. Okay, and then maybe drawing from here to there. Okay, so here is my scalene triangle. Let me do the join the points again. There we go. Okay, now label your original triangle as triangle KFC. KFC meaning I need to remember, naming triangles, we call it by the corners or the vertex. So I'm going to call this K, F, C. The vertices are called KFC. Now sketch a congruent triangle by reflecting your scalene triangle across the y-axis. So if I have a y-axis will look something like this. Oops, I am going to call on my line tool. I'm going to call that with red. So if my vertical line is like this, okay, y-axis would look like this. So I want to create a reflection of that triangle KFC. So maybe I could have a point. Okay, it needs to be an equidistance from the line of reflection. So C prime will be somewhere about here. Okay, and then K will be, I don't know, maybe about here. I could measure it to be more precise, and then K will be further down. Okay, so maybe about here. Okay, now I am going to join those points. Okay, now you can label your congruent triangle with any name you want. So instead of KFC, what do I want to call it? Okay, I'm going to call it PQR. So I'm going to get my pen. P, Q, R. Those are my vertices. Okay. Alright. So now first thing is I want to communicate that all sides of the triangle KFC are different in length. How would I do that? If I put one notch and one notch and one notch. So if I put one notch here and one notch here and another notch here, what am I communicating? They're all equal length, aren't they? Okay, but if I have a different numbers, like one notch here, two notch here, and then three notches here, I am now communicating that this length is different to this length, is different to this length. Okay, so now that we've reflected this, what are the corresponding side? Well, this is, I know that this is a mirror image, so KF, and the side KF here, this side here, is corresponding to this side right here. So I can communicate that they're the same length by putting one notch here. And I know that this side right there is corresponding to this side right here because they were the mirror image, right? So since this one has two notches, I can put two notches right here. This communicates that they are the same length. And then lastly, I can do the same thing with this side here and this side here. They are the same length, they are corresponding length, so the length measure has to be the same. Okay, so this will be the notation I would use. Okay, what about corresponding angles? How can I communicate that? Well, I know that K corresponds with Q, so I can put one arc here and one arc here. And C corresponds to P, so I can put two arc here and then 3, 1, 2, 3 here, and 1, 2, 3 here. Great. Now I want you to write 3 statements to say the 3 corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, so I am going to erase this vertical line just to create more room, and I am going to write the 3 angles are congruent. So angle K corresponds to which angle? Angle Q. And they are congruent, so I would use this. And similarly, I would say angle C corresponds to angle P, and they both have the 2 arc notation, and they are congruent. And angle F and then go R, R congruent.